But you know what? I think it's time,
Oh
since we're
God.
talking about diluting words and what they mean. I've
I have to
got my
apologize for the female race, for the female species, half of the species right now. So I'm sorry in advance.
well, I've got my one of my disabilities back here that occasionally likes to flare up and get in front of my monitor. For those who want to see, she's right over here on a box somewhere.
My disability is sleeping in the closet.
And I've got like two other disabilities running around, plus the two humanoid disabilities that are running around, just not tonight. So I have plenty of disabilities that could flare up at any time when I'm streaming. It's great, it's lovely. So I'm gonna
To
have to
apply
use
for a
that from now on.
disability.
But let's let this play out real quick and then talk about it.
Grooming is consent. There are long-term disabilities. There are situational disabilities. There are temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. That is a situational disability that you have, where the game not having the option for you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular disability a situation is concerned. There are long-term disabilities. There are situational.
I forgot that clip is only 30 seconds. So I watched the full video, by the way, of this.
I did too. I just
She's talking about Microsoft's disability flyer thingamabobber.
so this is again my being pissed off about
There it
people
is.
using words incorrectly. That is not a disability. That is she's just trying to put it under that umbrella to get more eyes to it. And she has. Congratulations. She's now famous, probably for the wrong reasons, for being a freaking retard. But this is not how you use that word. That's not disability. That's an inconvenience, but it's not a disability. But if you say inconvenience, it's an inconvenient moment for me to not be able to hit pause. And I totally agree. I know I hate it when games don't allow me to pause. But I understand it. It still pisses me off. But that's not disability. She's trying to shoehorn that into something to get A, more sympathy, and 2, to kind of force people to act in this way. Again, very feminine, but also very toxic. So I'm sorry, that's it. I'm gonna stop that.
So I particularly have a bone to pick with her verbiage.
Well, you know my bone.
I know your bone, but you ready to hear mine? Because you would think, what the hell problem do I have with this, right? I was fucking disabled for a while.
Me too. I mean, right back there, that disables me every so often too.
No, I had epilepsy until recently.
Yeah, look. My disability back there is bad. Is worse. Let me tell you.
Agreed. So,
well, let's just say that
sorry,
nobody deserves more sympathy than anybody else. She's just as sympathetic as you were when you had actual epilepsy.
No, because I'm not sympathetic. I didn't rely on it like, oh, pity me, bullshit. No, I did. By the way, my ex-wife had to fight with me to sign up for stuff like Medicare, Medicaid. I was like, no, I don't want to. I'll pay for
this. This is why I bother Chad when he doesn't respond after a long time. I'm like, Chad, are you there? Don't die on me today.
Well, the thing is, so like,
this is dudes versus chicks
Medicare, Medicaid, and I'm now off of it, not by choice, and I'm also not on my meds anymore. Again, not by choice. But here's the funny thing: I don't have seizures anymore, even off my meds. It's been months. I don't think I need to go back on meds. But more to the point, I cannot stand it when people are like, "I'm disabled," or like, "I have cancer, but I really don't."
Hi, Boogie.
Later. And just like the use of disability when you're just a shit person is frankly sickening to me and offends me. And I have to mentally restrain myself from getting physical with bastards that fake this shit, because it is one of 2 red buttons I have, which, by the way, this hit both of them. Calling your children a fucking disability.
Yeah,
bullshit. And
the entire situation,
I'm sure they'd appreciate
needs
that.
to be cut off, because these are just inconveniences.
Yeah. And what kills me is that your kid is going to see that video. What do you think they're going to think? They're going to think that their mom doesn't love them, and rightfully so.
Well, she ain't gonna have kids.
No, she
doesn't
No.
have kids.
Oh no, she doesn't have them. That's right. That's right.
No, she doesn't have any children. No.
No, but like seriously, I made a little video responding to that because I'm a dick like that. And of course, I posted it on TikTok along with everything else. And of course, I had some smooth brain come in about a pause button. It's like nobody gives a damn about a pause button. Like I get that's what she's going on about. Pause the game, blah blah blah. It's a FromSoft game, for fuck's sake, guys.
Mhm.
They do things deliberately a specific way. If they wanted you to pause, you could fucking pause. And you can actually pause Elden Ring if you go into a specific menu. Of course, that requires you to know that. But if they wanted you to pause, they would put a fucking pause button in there.
Yeah.
It's a FromSoft game. They do things deliberately, so complaining about it and bullshit isn't really going to help anything.
It's not
this
her
whole
game.
situational, like this is the Microsoft design toolkit of inclusivity. This whole right side needs to be chopped off. Like when you say disability to any normal person, what do you get out of it? They think you're paralyzed, you're blind, you're deaf, something to that nature, and a real disability. And then you can be temporarily disabled, have a temporary disability, like you've broke your arm.
Mm-hmm.
I got that. Like this half right here is fine. That's correct. Maybe not an ear infection, but if you have cataracts, I can. That actually may not be a temporary disability either. That would
sometimes you can have
probably
those
be
removed.
more permanent, but you could also get it repaired and fixed if you have the money.
Mhm.
But some of this stuff, when you talk and say somebody, you're disabled, like my sis, she's got a wheelchair. She's got cerebral palsy or whatever it's called. Anyway, she has braces to walk with, right? They attach to her shoes. They go into the shoes, up her legs, allows her to walk. And
They're
if
doing
we're going to
some
go
good
out
work in
somewhere,
that field, by the way.
do what?
They're doing some good work in the medical field with cerebral palsy. From what I heard, they might be looking at possible cures in the near future.
Well, that would be cool. But, so she needs help moving around sometimes. And she can walk slowly or kind of waddle, but, she waddles slowly. And when we do anything that's long term, like, we've gone out to, the festival this summer. We went to the festival downtown, took her wheelchair. I threatened to roll her down the hill. It was all good and fun. And she got the wheelchair so she can be rolled around and all that stuff, but she can still get up and walk and do things. And she's a mother, and all that stuff. She doesn't let it tear her down like these people want to.
Damn straight.
They use their disability essentially as like some kind of get out of whatever free all the damn time, whether they need it or not. And somewhere out there, I guarantee they've got a PhD who has decided that situational disabilities have to be a thing in academia. So they've turned it into a thing so some people can feel special. It's like, oh yeah, I have a disability, so it makes it hard for me to stream. Oh, you do? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, sometimes my kids just bother me and I can't get them to stay out of the... I'm sorry, what? And that's where we're going with that now.
Well, you know what? They might... You know what? No, Zio, I'm going to renege on this. Maybe they are disabled. Mental disabilities exist, and that sounds pretty fucking insane.
You know what? You're right. They're mentally disabled.
I'm probably going to beat this drum because, most dudes don't know it because they're not women. But this is how women go bad. This is weaponized empathy, which is what you use to become a crybaby.
I like that term.
And they will say, you don't care about my disability? You're so mean. And then they'll cry and have all these people try to come and shield them to weaponize your feelings of empathy against them. This is a Taylor Lorenz sort of thing. You don't care that I'm what is it? Oh gosh, what was it? She was saying it was basically disabled, but I'm like, I'm vulnerable basically, so that's why she wears a mask everywhere. I'm medically
vulnerable. Immune compromised.
Yes, thank you.
There we go. You're
It's
welcome.
because I never heard it before 2020. I never heard immunocompromised. I know it was a
No,
thing, but it was
I've known it was a thing, and then COVID came, and then suddenly everybody was immune compromised, apparently. And I'm just like, when did that happen?
I'll tell you this: a lot of
I know-
people took a vacation during
I
that.
think I can count the amount of people I have met who have legitimate been immune compromised on one hand.
yeah.
And
I have an
that's
aunt.
zero.
I have an aunt who's like that, and I still never heard the term immunocompromised. I knew she was just we said she was delicate and bless her heart, but no, no, but I mean that's the thing. She was delicate. We're like we have to be careful around her. Her immune system isn't so good. We didn't have this catch-all term that was suddenly bandied about every 5 seconds by someone who just wanted to control the way that you acted by trying to act upon your goodwill as a human being and wanting to do the right thing for your fellow human. And this is what she's trying to do by calling it a disability as opposed to calling it an inconvenience, which it is. It is an inconvenience,
Yes.
and it's freaking annoying. Elden Ring isn't, as far as I know, you're not multiplayer online. There's no reason to not have a pause. But they don't want it.
People like Alinity now get a pass when she chucks her cat because it's just her disability acting up and she's fixing it.
Okay, so real quick, I got to point this out. Zio,
Yes.
how many people do you know that are immune compromised again?
Zero.
No, you did something specific when you said zero. White supremacist.
Oh yeah. I did the white supremacist
Oh
sign.
god. Now I can't
started out as a
laugh
meme
about
and then they
that
took
now.
it seriously.
I also drink milk, by the way, if anyone was curious and need to solidify where I lie there. Like I drink straight up white milk and chocolate milk because I'm not racist. But anyway.
But do you mix them together? Otherwise, closet racist.
Well, no, D&D
Well,
would
it
say
depends
that's
on if I
perfectly
make
correct.
it with Hershey's chocolate or not, because then I have to
Ooh,
pour
that
the
sounds
white
good.
milk into the chocolate and then mix them up real good.
Oh, you feel me getting more diabetic by the minute listening to that.
But yeah,
course,
apparently
he's also
situational
pansexual.
disabilities and all. So I will now forever refer to my cats and my kids as disabilities on stream.
But here's the thing.
Anytime they get in the way.
Me and Zio have been playing games for a while now, and we play games where you can't pause Path of Exile. And
Yeah.
what happened when Zio had to take care of his kids and be dad for a minute? I was like, I got you, bro. And I spawned like
I was like, I'm standing in a corner. Please don't rape me.
I'm like,
But the thing is that then that's when you discover kind of who you are as a person also. You go, well, I guess I'll die now unless somebody comes to my rescue. But
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that you also do have to have priorities. The fact that this lady is pissing and moaning about this is also like, this speaks to your character, my dear. This shows that you are kind of having the worst sort of priorities right there. No. Like it's absolutely dumb. And that's why so many people were disgusted, and it was on this visceral level to where they were just like, they're using her kids, and I'm like, she doesn't have kids. She's using it to cry bully, my dude. She's using it to weaponize empathy to get what she wants, and
Well,
to
see, we didn't know she
use
didn't
other
have
people
kids
as a
at the time.
shield, even because this is not her. This is not her thing. This is not a problem she actually has. She just wants a pause button, so she's trying to throw everything on there to make it sound like she's so virtuous for wanting a pause button, but she really wants it because, she has crap priorities.
Yeah, and this is the other thing that I like to say. What is it, Chad? What is it that I like to tell people if they're deadbeat parents and they're actually using this as a legit excuse?
okay, by the way, I'm going to make merch out of your saying.
Learn to fucking parent. Anyway, I've raised 3 kids at this point. And you know what I did when I was raising the first one and they were in the toddler stage and the baby stage and stuff? I just stopped playing games I couldn't pause. I didn't play WoW. That's why I skipped all of Pandora. I didn't play. Well, I played Diablo on and off because that I could teleport back to town and just redo the area or something. For the most part, I quit playing League of Legends. I quit playing Halo. Anything that I could that was essentially multiplayer and I couldn't play, I just stopped playing. By the time my second kid came around, I learned tricks and trades of being a parent to be able to do that. So I had, say, the baby asleep right here in my lap while I played a match and didn't, throw up or anything like that, or, jump up into the air, that sort of thing, and hoop and holler or anything like that. I kept it quiet, put on headphones, and I had ways to fix this issue so I could still play a game and still was able to tend to my child, right?
Yeah.
And then,
And
of
that's
course,
something that you do as an adult. These people are not adults, they're children.
and a lot of times there are spouses too, And
Mhm.
at the time I was married. So it was, my wife would tend to the kids. I would spend a couple hours playing World of Warcraft again for the first time in forever and stuff like that. But, those you have to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Do the responsible thing. And if you are in a situation where that is not a possible thing for you to do, where your spouse tends to the kid, or you can put the bassinet right next to you while they're taking a nap or something so you can get a game of League in or whatever it is that you're playing,
Mhm.
And even then, when you do things like that, like have, say, the bassinet next to me, I knew there was a chance that I would have to just stop. And
Yeah.
if I die, I died
Yeah.
at that point. Because there was
Absolutely.
nothing I could do about it because the baby took priority at that point, or the kid took priority. So, and
Yeah,
now
this
here I
is-
am again solo with older kids at this point. The youngest is like 7, but even then they still need you to come in and do things for them from
And
time
pick
to
up
time.
fake poop.
Yeah, and to go clean up fake poop like he did the other night when we were playing.
That was great, by the way.
Got me good with that one too. But I'm solo doing this, so I still have to occasionally do that. Now I play things with Chad for the most part that I can say, Chad, watch me. I gotta go parent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't even question it. I'm just like, I got you, bro. And by the way, this was the funniest thing. So we were playing Path of Exile. In Path of Exile, I got these totems that I can summon. They're basically summon
Uh-huh.
things that can beat other enemies up for me. So as soon as he's like, I got to go parent, I was like, I got you, bro. Me and the boys will be with you. Boom, I just dropped down my entourage, and we're just like, bring it.
And
Everybody
then, of
going,
course, there are other times where I'm like, well, what is it? And they're like, well, I want this. It's like, well, it can wait a few minutes so I can finish up what I was doing.
Yeah.
And those, of course, choices that you have to make at the time, because it's not a one size fits all. Somebody came in screaming bloody murder because they've got a nail through their finger, which is another one they did to me, by the way.
what?
Yeah, boys, that's the thing.
The youngest one came in and said the oldest one, he got a nail in his finger. I'm like, a nail? How in the world did you wind up with a nail in your finger? I was trying to hang up this. I'm sorry, what? And I came in, and sure enough, he's got a nail through his finger, and it looks like blood on the counter and everything. I'm like, oh, for fuck's. Okay, so I start grabbing paper towels and a towel real quick to start doing things, and then he's like, bloop. And I'm like, wait, what?
Oh,
was
everybody got a
fake
whipping
nail.
then.
It was a fake nail. It's like, kids, you're gonna give me a heart attack. Please stop.
Oh, that's a good one. Wait, how did he do a fake nail? What did he do? Cut a nail in
Well,
half?
I forgot. One Christmas, he got a magic set.
Yeah.
Oh.
He discovered the magic set again, and there is a nail that clips around the finger like a ring almost, and it goes through, the
Yep.
thing, and then you take ketchup or something,
Yeah.
and do the thing, and when you first look at it, if you don't get up and look at it and realize it's a plastic nail, it kind of looks real for a second.
Oh, God.
I mean, you made your kids day that day, though. I mean,
Oh
that
yeah,
truly
I'm
did.
sure it was great.
They
because
had the
it's like, I
best.
got you, Dad. I got you, Dad. It's like, I know, and you're going to give me a heart attack if you keep this up. Can we stop now?
Now you all see why I called Zia one of the best dads I've ever met, because he legit is.
Yeah.
But this whole idea, using things like that as a reason for why you need a pause button in a FromSoft game, come on, this ain't fucking Nintendo. You're
Yeah.
playing a FromSoft game. You should know what you're getting into ahead of time at this point.
Absolutely. And the thing is that that's not this is just being an adult. This is just being a responsible person who is in charge of your own life. Instead of asking other people to fix things and make them easier for you, just understand there are some things that you won't be able to do all the time.
Yes.
This is why people found the whole dink thing to be so irritating. The dual income, no kid. I'm a dink. That means that I can do all of this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yes, that's true. Your life is very
Yeah, I'll
hassle
be right
free, and
back. I gotta take care of the
you
kids.
can just do what you want
All
all
right,
the
take
time.
care,
But that's
Rottnest.
not the purpose of life. And it's fine if you are. Whatever, dude. If you don't have kids, you don't have kids. My husband and I, we do not have kids. I mean, we just got married, and we're both old, so there's that. But but the thing is that, I mean, there are times where I'm just like, I can't play my game. And the thing is that I don't even play a lot of games where you can't pause. Path of Exile is one of the few that I do. But even then, I'm like, oh, I'm in the middle of this temple. I don't think I'll be able to finish it. You know, my husband wants to do something in a little bit of time, or he'll be home and he'll want dinner. I guess I can't play my game right now. I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, can they make these temples shorter or give us like a save spot so that way I can come back? No, I have to do this whole temple over again if I'm going to start. I have to know this going in. I'm an adult. That's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, maybe sometimes you can't play your game the way that you want to. Maybe you can't play as often as you want to. But again, this is what we call adulting. This is what we call being a responsible member of society. Otherwise, you're a child. This is not a serious person. This is a child
Yes.
wanting
That-
life to be a bed of roses for her that everybody
that's
else makes.
definitely another thing right there. Is like you've got to plan about these things. Like if I know we're going to be leaving in a bit,
Mhm.
and I don't really have time to play my normal games that I would play, like say Path of Exile or something,
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick up the Switch.
Yeah.
Because 99.9% of the entire library, or I'm sorry, 100% of that freaking library, I can just put back down on the stand and come back straight to it.
Yeah.
And it's like Grandma was coming to pick him up yesterday because it's the summer and she can't have me bringing him in at 6 a.m. While I go to work. But, he was in the middle of, what was it? Not Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. He plays Call of Duty and Fortnite a lot. And he was in the middle of a match. It's like, when you get off that, you're going to have to find something else to play. That's why I was like, well, Grandma will be here in like 30 minutes. You can't be in the middle of a match when she shows up.
Yeah.
So what did he do? He got off that and he messed on his Switch for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I've been trying to teach him that because you've got to, go around things like that.
Yeah. There
You
will be
can't
times.
just be in the middle of a match and say, oh, I can't right now. It's like, no, we need to leave now.
Yeah.
I told you 30 minutes. We were leaving right now. We ain't got time to wait for you for the next 15.
Yeah. You will not always be able to do all the things that you want all the time. And that is something that you learn as you get older, as you become a responsible person.
Except for the people who are perpetually children.
Yes, and people like this are perpetually children. A lot of the games journalists are perpetually children.
Which really pisses me off about my generation because they're the ones who are perpetually children, it seems.
What is that? X or
Millennials.
millennial? Oh, millennial.
It's the millennials.
I'm X, so I can look down on you
Like
guys.
I'm an older millennial, like
Yeah.
right there on the cusp between like X and millennial, and I kind of wish I could be. I wish born a few years earlier or something because I can't stand millennials. We're fucking trash. I've seen too many of them. They're trash.
You should
They're
call yourself a mix or
crybabies.
something.
They're weak. I can't even understand why they're so freaking weak. Like I don't get it at all because we grew up in the era with water hoses.
Mm-hmm.
And then transitioned into the era of computers.
Yeah.
We were there with X. We were there with the older generation getting into a fight, scrapping it out behind the gas station down the road from the school or whatnot, and then
I got
walking
stories.
away. Right? That my generation was there during that time. And then we transitioned into the computer sides of things. So we know how to build PCs, or we should know how to build PCs, websites, do HTML and all that good jazz because we did it with MySpace and everything.
Yep.
But apparently so many, I guess it's because they classify as a millennial like from like, what is it, 86 to...
No, 80.
Like, or 80? Is it really 80?
No,
Yeah,
it's like so it depends on where you go, but the most common I've seen is like 81 or 82. That's
Yeah.
the one that I find to be most
Okay.
common, which is
Well,
why I'm
then-
like, oh, I'm in right before millennial. I like it.
Okay, so I guess 81 all the way up to like 2000 practically.
really
and then
large
beyond
group.
that, and I'm like, no, a millennial should have been people born in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
That's where my thinking is.
Because it's called a millennial, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
the new
You should
millennium
be
didn't
two
start
other
till, like,
different generations, like a zennial or something at that point. But I
They
guess
have-
because so many of us are younger millennials, they didn't actually grow up with hot water hoses and shit.
Yeah,
But
like, I grew up with no internet, no computer.
Mhm.
I played video games on consoles, and that was at the end of the day after I was running outside for 8-10 hours. And then I'd invite my friend Keith over, and we'd beat the hell out of each other in Street Fighter.
Street Fighter days.
Street Fighter, that was fun.
Yeah, dude. I'm pretty much on the same boat. I didn't know what a mouse was for until I went to college. I had a computer, and I was considered very fancy because I had DOS, y'all. Which
Ooh,
doesn't, but
nice.
and it's not because of the fact that Windows 95 wasn't out. It was because we were poor. But we had one console, and the console was primarily for dad. So so yeah, we had to learn the joy of outside and learn how to find things that were like again, not everything is always going to cater to you all the time. You won't always be able to do what you want. For us, it was mostly because we didn't have access to everything, but it was a good lesson to learn growing up. You won't
which is
always
good
be
on.
able to do the things that you want. Sometimes your friends will be able to do things that you can't freaking do. And you're going to have to be okay with that and not put yourself into bankruptcy or drive anybody crazy because you're not able to do the same things. It's not disabled, it's life. And this is if we're going to say that everything that makes life a little bit harder is called a disability, we might as well pack it in now. Everything is a disability. It's
Yeah,
all a
what
disability.
is it? If everyone is special,
I
nobody's
can't-
really special at this point.
I have an idea.
Hmm?
We're all disabled. We all apply for disability. They can't deny it, and then we crash the system and finally get things back on track. Genius.
Sounds like a good plan.
All right, let's get away from
Miss Disability over here.